So now we're well into earnings season. We've heard results from some of our favorite real estate investment trusts. And one of the first to report is always American Tower, the biggest REIT in the world. American Tower is the communications REIT. They own cell towers all over the world. So don't be fooled by the name American Tower. They are truly a global company. Um, Tyler, how are things going for American Tower right now?
Sorry, I feel like I've heard that opening now. It's almost like a dad joke for you. But
It is.
yeah, so anybody that's a longtime listener, you get the dad joke on that one. Um, so it's been an odd time for American Tower, and it's had me thinking really hard about the company. So this past quarter, adjusted funds from operations is kind of the number that they report. On a per share basis, year over year, it was down less than 1%. And a couple of reasons for it being down was number one, they have a lot of exposure to foreign exchange rates because they operate globally in a lot of places. It's not just like denominated euros, denominated in dollars. It's like things like having to do the CEFA because it has a lot of properties in West and Central Africa, um, things like that. So obviously that was a big issue. And at the same time, they have a decent amount of floating rate or variable rate debt. And because of that, they had some higher interest payments. And those were two of the big things that really knocked them in terms of actual operations. And the thing that's been a little discouraging is again, they're guiding for the full year about down 1% on the same reasons, foreign exchange rate, higher debt rates. And the thing that is really curious to me, you know, a lot of the tower stuff is it kind of doing exactly what it did. But I've always been a little questionable about the recent acquisition it made of data centers. And, when did that happen? 2020, 2021, which was a very, very pricey time to be buying data centers. And now we're sitting here, a few years later with the debt coming due on that or trying to refinance. And it's not as a valuable position as it used to be. Kind of, added debt to do it, and now it's not looking as great. So it's I can't say I was too impressed. And it's one of those ones where I've been staring at it long and hard for a long time. And I really am curious how it goes from here. It's not very often that I reconsider a position, but this may be one of them for the simple fact that they're straying into places that they didn't stray before.
Well, I would kind of push back and say, do you think that this might be an opportunity in data centers for them? Because they made it clear that that's something that they like. And a lot of the other operators are struggling and having to unload core assets, like Digital Realty Trust is selling some of its core assets to raise money at a big discount.
Maybe, but the issue being there is that it already levered up to do this acquisition of data centers already, and one of the focuses management has been talking about is delevering the balance sheet as a result.
Mm.
And so you're pinned against do we delever or do we get aggressive? And I think, like we said, with valuations for data centers coming down, it's probably in their best interest just to delever. I'm not a huge fan of. I wasn't a huge fan of the move to start with because it's not what they do well. I think what they do best is going into, emerging markets, buying cell phone towers for fractions of what you can buy them in, markets like the U.S. or in Europe, and as those industries like diversify and deregulate, it becomes an extremely lucrative property. So that's my thought, and that's where I kind of land.
Once again, thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to click subscribe if you don't subscribe to my channel already. And as always, this video is sponsored by The Motley Fool. Be sure to visit www.fool.com/Frankel to receive the top 10 best stocks to buy now.